y'all, Crissyo here from Crissyo's Clucky Chronicles, and today we're in my kitchen and I got a lot of stuff on the counter that I'm going to be working on today. I don't think I've ever done a video like this for y'all before, but somebody asked me, hey, I know you do a lot of cooking and I know my channel is mostly about my flock and my farm animals and things that we do outside with the greenhouse and different things like that, but I thought maybe I'll switch it up a little bit and do something a little different. So today I'm actually making some homemade cranberry juice. I like it. It's good for you. I might make mine a little bit sweeter than what most people make it, and I add a little bit of extra this and that to it, but I don't know, I thought I'd just show y'all how I go about making my little cranberry juice. And just follow along. If it's something you like, that's great. Then we're going to take a little peeky peek at the babies later on, see how they're doing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get into the cranberry juice. So right now I'm scrubbing out the jars. Very hot dishwater with some soap. I'll scrub the insides, the outsides of them. We'll let them soak for a little bit. And then we're going to move on to the next step of sterilizing these jars to make sure everything is sterilized before we start doing any kind of cranberry sauce. Now there's different ways that you can sterilize jars. I sometimes will actually put them in my, after I wash them in hot water here, I'll boil them in my canner and then just change my canning water. But that's up to you. Whatever you want to do. You can even put them in, I know some people say, oh, don't put them in the dishwasher, but if you scrub them good enough with a hot soapy water and you sterilize them, you can run them through a cycle in your dishwasher. I've never had any issues with it before, so I let them sit here, fill them up with hot soapy water, let them sit here for a few minutes and get them good and hot in here, and then we'll rinse them out. You can even put them in your oven. As long as they're sterilized and they're clean, and you know that they're clean, you shouldn't have any problems at all. So I've got my water bath canner. It's been stored up in the pantry for a while, and it's kind of, you know, got some dust and some little things on it that I don't want, and I always like to keep everything that I work with very sterile, very clean. So I've got some super hot soapy water in here, and I'm going to go ahead and get to scrubbing all of this inside and outside, because I don't want any particles of nothing in here, and I want to make sure that all this is good and ready to water bath can my cranberries. So let's get to washing this pot out and let's get some stuff rolling and getting it all clean and nice, and then we're going to set it on the stove and we'll start working on them cranberries. Alright, so now I have my water in my water bath canner. It's starting to steam up pretty good, and we've got to get it up to a good rolling boil. So we're working on that right now. So fun times, here we go. Okay, now you want to get you a pot. I put some hot water in it. I've already washed the lids, but I'm going to go ahead and boil the lids on the stove so that they're sterilized also while the jars are drying out. Let's get this step right here done. Alright, what you want to do is you want to make sure that these lids and rings get to a full rolling boil like they're trying to do now, and that way everything's sterilized. Now I've already pre-washed everything with soap and water and made sure that it was good and scrubbed and clean, free from debris. Then all you got to do is just do this, and once that's done, I take the lids and the rings out and I let them dry. Let them dry. You can wipe them dry, that's fine. I like to let them air dry because they're already super hot, so the steam and all that, when it's released, it's going to dry pretty quick anyway. But I make sure that they're not wet before we put them on the jars. Alright, so what I did was I got bags of cranberries. Generally takes about a cup and a half. So these cranberries in these bags will make me about 4-quart jars of cranberry juice. So that's what I'm going to do today. What we're going to do next is we're going to take these cranberries. I see a couple of them that kind of are mushy and they don't look like they're good, like they've gone bad. So we're going to go through, we're going to take these cranberries out of the bag, put them in my colander, strain them, we're going to wash them real good, and we're going to pick out the bad squashy ones, and then we're going to start working on the water bath canner and working on sterilizing jars and lids. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to put all the berries that come out of the bag. We're going to put all these berries right here in this colander and strainer. And I've already eyeballed a couple of them that don't look great. They look like they've already gone soft and bad and mushy, and I don't want that in my cranberry juice anyway. So we're going to start washing them. I'm going to start picking out the ones that look like this. So you see them right there? You don't want that. None of those, because they're squishy, they're soft, they're kind of gone to yucky, just as bad. So I'll take those and discard those. I don't even want to give them to my chickens or anything. So you see them? Those have gone bad. So I don't want to give these to the chickens or any of the wildlife. I'm just going to throw them directly into the trash. So let's start picking through. Alright, so now that we've got all of the cranberries, they're all washed, all the bad pieces are picked out, we're going to leave it here in this colander and let it continue to drain while we get our water bath canner ready and we get our lids and our jars starting to be sterilized. So let's work on that next, alright? Alright, so now I have filtered water. I use filtered water. We have all these really nice filters on my refrigerator, and I also have a zero water container that has those really nice HEPA filters. So we've got filtered water here. We're just boiling it and getting it to a really hot rolling boil. So I have some ultra pure clean hot water that will go over the cranberries and the sugar. So I've got my towel laid out here, and this is just how you pick up your jars. You know, this is just your jar grabber from the hot stuff. This is your little magnet. It attaches to your lids, and this helps you with head space and stuff like that with your jar. And I also have the cup and the half cup. I'm going to use a half a cup of sugar because, I mean, we like things a little bit sweeter. You don't have to use a half a cup of sugar. You can use a 1/4 cup. Or you can just go all natural. You can use honey, whatever you want to. And then this is going to be my cup for my cup of cranberries. I'll do a cup and a half per each jar. I just got to dry the outside of the jars off. And then we're going to start adding sugar and cranberries in just a bit. Alright, now, so I've got 4-quart jars. I got a cup. We've got our big wide rimmed funnel here that's going to go over the top of the jar right here, just like this. And then I'm going to scoop up a cup of cranberries. So I got a cup of cranberries, and we're going to take and put these cup of cranberries in here, and then I'm going to take a half a cup, because remember I told you it's going to be a cup and a half of cranberries. So I got this half cup right here. Scoop this in like this right here, half cup. I'm going to put this in over the top, alright? So there's the half cup of cranberries, cup and a half of cranberries, sorry, that goes right there just like that. And we're going to go do all 4 of them. Let's move to the next one. One cup. One half cup. Next jar. One cup. One half cup. Last jar. One cup. And then we're going to do 1/2 cup. Then we'll start working on the sugar. Alright, there you go. Alright, now we got 1/2 cup of sugar. Remember, 1.5 cups fresh washed cranberries in sterilized jars. This is 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You can use honey and you can use 1/4 cup of sugar, but we kind of have a real bad sweet tooth around here. So we're doing 1/2 cup of the sugar and we're just pouring it right on over the top of the cranberries, okay? So now we're going to scoop and we're going to get some more and we're going to fill up the rest of our jars with the 1/2 cup of the sugar, and we're going to move this over to the next jar right here, and then we're going to do the same thing. 1/2 cup of sugar. We're going to move this over to the next jar. Half a cup of sugar, and the very last jar is right here. Okay? Now there you go. Now you see how pretty all those cranberries and all that pretty sugar is, and I told you this last one down here we're going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon in it. You don't have to do that, but we're going to go ahead and do that here. So that's the only one that's going to have the cinnamon in it. I don't want to put any nutmeg or cloves in it, but you can. And whenever you want to add your flavorings, even if it's a stick of vanilla, do it now before you put your hot water in. That way, when the hot water hits and everything starts, you know, melding together before you put it in the canner, things will start going ahead mixing and things will start getting really yummy and really good. All those flavors will mix together. Alright, so now comes the fun part. I boiled the filtered water, make sure it's good and hot. We're going to use this wide mouth funnel again, and we're only going to pour the water to right there about what they call an inch of headspace. Okay? So we're going to fill it up with the hot water in each jar. Alright? So come on, let's show them what we do and how we do it. You might hear some of these cranberries pop a little bit, and you know what, that's okay. Let's just show you how we do it real nice and easy. There you go. That's a little, right there, an inch of that headspace. Alright? Now we're going to move down to the next one. And I might have to boil a little bit more filtered water, and you know what, that's perfectly fine if we do. We'll do just what we got to do. This is going to help melt all that sugar and all that goodness together. And you can hear some of them sizzling in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start boiling some more water, and we're going to finish up these last 2 jars. Now we have all the hot water that is filtered and is put into our jars. Cranberries float to the top, they separate. You can still see some of the sugar remnants. This is the one with the cinnamon in it. So we're going to use this little tool right here, and what this does is it just makes sure that it checks that you've got 1 inch of head space at the top and you haven't gone over, and then if you've gone over you can fix it, you know, accordingly. So you want to take this side like this with the edges on it, and you stick it right here along the rim, and you kind of go down a little bit, and you just want to make sure that you're good. And it looks like we're good. And we're going to check it right here. We're good. Check this one right here, and looks like we're good. Check it right here. We're good. Now, I like to get the bubbles out of mine. Some people say, well, you don't really have to for cranberries, but I just like to. So what I do is I just take the other end of it, and I just gently go down and just release any bubbles that could potentially be in there. And you want to be careful too, because it's some hot water that's in there. So that's all I'm doing, is just sticking this down here a little bit, not mixing anything. I'm just releasing bubbles that could potentially be at the top. You know, you want to make sure that you get all the air and the bubbles and stuff out, because you want a good seal when you're water bath canning your cranberries or anything that you're doing, really. So let's get all these bubbles out. We'll do that. Make sure everything's good to go here. Now we're going to wipe the tops of the jars with just a regular cloth. I don't put vinegar on these. You can, it's up to you, but I don't. I'm just going to take a cloth, and I'm going to make sure everything's clean and dry all the way around the top of it. And then we're going to fix our lids to the top. So now that the tops of the jars have been wiped down, everything's good and clean, we're going to take our lids here. Now, if you have one of these little magnet things, you can grab it and pick it up, obviously, like that. And you can stick it on the top there and then kind of release it with your finger. You can do that if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. That's completely up to you. You're just sitting the lids on the top up here anyway, just making sure that they're on. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing, is making sure that the lids are nice and level and they're even. And I like to just feel around and make sure that they're good on the tops here. And then we're going to add the rings here. Fingertip tight, y'all. Don't be using Godzilla strength on this. You don't need it. Just fingertip tight. Place them on the tops. Make sure everything's good. Screw them down just a little bit. That's it. You don't need Godzilla strength for these things. They ain't gonna pop off. Plus, all you're doing is making sure that nothing don't get inside, and that lid with that wax ring on the inside gives it a good seal. That's all you're doing. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Fingertip tighten that. I'll readjust that one, and I'll fingertip tighten it, and I'll put my camera down and make sure that they're all good. But here we go. Now we're going to let this water bath can. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. The water's over the top of it. I'm going to seal this lid right up here. It's an old-fashioned canner. And we're going to let this thing water bath can. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. And then we're going to show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, y'all, here we go. We have got them. This one right here, that's the darker one in color. That's the one with the cinnamon in it. So this is what it looks like when you get it directly out of your water bath canner. It's, you know, it separates a little bit when you're using granulated sugar. But what you want to do now is, once they cool, leave them alone for 24 hours. Those lids should pop and those lids should seal. You hear them pop, they'll seal as they start cooling off. So in the next 24 hours, leave them alone. When they're completely cooled off, just give the jars a little shake. Alright? Make sure that they've sealed. Take these rings off after they've cooled and they've sealed, because you don't want to put those rings right there on when you store them in your pantry. Now, for the best flavored juice, you want to leave them in your pantry. Shake them every couple days. You mix them up, you know, every couple days. They should be good between 3 and 6 weeks. I like to leave mine in a little bit longer. So about 5 to 6 weeks is when I'm ready to taste them. Now, you can strain them and strain the berries out of them if you want to just do it that way. You can strain it and drink it, that's fine. Some people will just mix it up real good with a spoon, throw some ice in and a straw in and drink it straight from the jar. That's how I growed up doing it. But you can do whatever you want to do. But look how pretty they are. We're going to try these things in about 6 weeks. Let you know how they turned out. But for right now, this is how you do it. I hope you guys will can you some cranberries. Go get you some. There should be some on sale or some on clearance now because people are trying to get rid of them. Check all of the grocery stores. Check the frozen areas. You can do all kinds of stuff with this juice. And it tastes good and it's good for you. Alright, now that we've done canning our cranberry juice, as you can see, I'm not going to do a video on this. You'll have to figure it out or go read some of my recipes on the website at crissyoshow.com. These are thick cooked pork chops. We're getting ready to marinate these bad boys. We're going to let them sit and marinate in this wonderful marinade that I'm getting ready to make. We're going to put them in the oven. But that's for another day. Anyway, enjoy your cranberry juice. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for subscribing. I do appreciate all y'all. Don't forget, go to the website at crissyoshow.com if you want some more of these recipes. I know it's a little out of the ordinary for me to be cooking and showing you guys what I do in the kitchen, but I do like to cook. And my folks think I'm a pretty good southern cook, so there you go. Anyway, y'all have a fabulous day. If you can't be good, I don't know what to tell you. Be good at it, I guess. So, bye.